This is a Swift Conqueror 480, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Got the hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake. This is all stuff we'll take you through in person here on site. In the front locker you've got your gas bottle with your gas valve on top for turning the gas on and off, and the fitment that goes into the bottle itself is actually a reverse thread fitment, so you'd need to turn it the opposite way to what you normally would to release the fitting. Up on the bulkhead you have your gas regulator and you have a yellow isolator valve. Turn that valve 90 degrees towards the front of the caravan, and that will allow the gas supply to be turned off. On the side of the caravan you have your Aldi heating flue, that is there for your heating hot water system so it can essentially breathe, and then down below you have your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan, so you wind the legs up and down to stabilise the van. They are only there for stabilising. You'd never lift the caravan with these legs as it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. You've then got your water pump, two water pump connections. Now there's two different water pump connections to fill the van in two different ways. The bottom one here is for your direct taps. So essentially that'll go through your hot water tank, but it will not go into the big onboard water storage tank. If you wanted to fill the big onboard water storage tank, you'd need to have this pump connected to the top connection just here. And that is very simple to use. You very simply pull the blue trigger back and pull it out the van, or pull the blue trigger back and push it into the side of the van. I'll demonstrate how to fill up the two tanks from inside of the caravan once we get to that part of the van. We've then got your battery box and your mains power lead. So the mains power lead coming into the side of the van is connected to the power on site, as you can see. And then we have the leisure battery in there. So it's 110 amp leisure battery on this particular van, which is more than powerful enough for your motor mover. The motor mover and wheel nuts, we'll torque the wheel nuts while you're here on site, and we'll also demonstrate the motor mover while you're here. We'll do that in person just so you can see exactly how it works and that you can see everything is working as it should. We've then got the two fridge vents on the side of the caravan. These are essentially there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and take some cool air in. And behind the top cover there, there'll also be a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. Fresh water that goes in the front of the caravan has to come out somewhere. And down the side of the van you've got these two grey waste pipes. You'll notice in the front locker there is two bits of grey pipe work that push into the larger diameter circle holes on the outside of that fitment, and they'll essentially go down inside your waste master. So the aqua roll is for the fresh water, and then you've got the long flat waste master which is for your wastewater. Then have your toilet flush tank just here. You'll open this up with a key and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here prior to use, and a cap full of the pink fluid. So that's your toilet flush tank, so a bit like your tank at home above the toilet. You then have your toilet waste tank, which you release by pulling up the orange handle, pull the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your blue fluid. And at the back of the cassette you have an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, the waste doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Before you use this tank, you'll need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid. And like I said, the cap is a cap full on the measure on the cap for the waste tank itself. On the back of the van on either side you have your wind down legs. For the purpose of handover we've only got one down, but that's your wind down legs. Also underneath the van you'll just about see there the spare wheel. There is a black nut on the left hand side of the van that you'll need to undo just behind the wheel. You'll release that and pull the split pin out the end, and then the wheel carrier will pull towards you and the spare wheel will be accessible. On the door side of the caravan you've got a 3-pin plug so you can have power out to your awning, so that's power out to your awning. Underbed storage just here, and on the front of the caravan you have a barbecue gas point, and down the bottom here you have your last wind down leg to stabilise the caravan. Going inside the caravan now, we'll demonstrate the inside systems of the van. First of all, you're going to need to make sure you have power turned on the control panel above the door. As you can see, power on, and the lights here are indicating we have power coming from the power post on site to the caravan itself. If you connect it to the car, you'll have an orange light on the car and a green light on the caravan. If you have all three connected, you need to decide which one, whether you want to disconnect the car or the caravan, as it will not work with all three connected. Leisure battery voltage on the left hand side here. Fresh water tank, so that's essentially your onboard water tank. And then you have your water pump run down the bottom here to fill the water system on board the van. Now what I'm going to do is, before we do anything else, oh sorry, let me just go through the rest here, sorry. View levels, we'll bring up the levels on the control panel, whether it be the fresh water, the leisure or the vehicle battery. And then again, you can press the vehicle battery button in the centre to bring up the voltages from the car to the caravan. First thing we're going to need to do is fill the water system on board the van. So we're going to come over to all the taps on board the caravan, open them all up on the hot side of the water system. There's a tap in the kitchen, tap in the bathroom and the shower tap as well. Then come underneath your seat on the right hand side front of the caravan. And underneath here, you will find your onboard water tank. Also, in the very far corner there, that silver box you see, is actually your hot water tank. So that is the tank it will fill if you're connected to that bottom water connection. If you're connected to the top water connection, it will fill this big tank here, which is your onboard water storage tank. So to fill the hot water tank, you're going to need to make sure the two yellow valves that you see are parallel with the floor. You're also going to need to make sure that the white valve on the right hand side here is pointing to the right. So essentially, as you'll see here, that allows you to run from the external supply of the caravan, which is the ACK roll on the outside. So that will fill that big tank there, the big hot water tank first, before the water goes to the taps. So like I said, all the taps open on the hot side, two yellow valves parallel with the floor, and the white valve pointing to the right hand side. At that point, what you can do is come over to the control panel above the door again, and then you're going to hit the water pump button. You'll notice that it's going to bleep at me to start with to tell me there is no water in the fresh water tank. You don't need to worry about that. After a few moments of it beeping, it will go back off, so you do not have to use the fresh water tank if you do not wish to. At that point, you'll notice we have water running continuously out of every tap on board the van. Now essentially that is the water system on the hot water side, so through your hot water tank filled up. So that is how you can run your ACK roll should you wish to. You will hear the pump running for a few seconds after you've turned the tap off, so it builds the pressure back up on the onboard tank and up to the taps. If you wish to fill the onboard water tank, so you can have water inside of the caravan, you'll still need to use the ACK roll on the outside. So you connect the ACK roll, but to the top connection. You would then come inside the caravan, make sure the two yellow valves are parallel with the floor again. You'd also make sure all the taps are open again, and then you'd undo this valve here, and the water system will start filling as long as you have that water pump connected to the top connection. If it's connected to the bottom one, it will not fill the onboard water tank. It will only fill the hot water tank at the front there, and that will only do that if that white valve is pointing to the right hand side. So that is your water system full on board the caravan. At that point, you can start thinking about heating the caravan and also warming the water up on the onboard water tank, or the hot water tank. So we're going to press Store, Reset, and you'll notice here on the screen, at the moment, it's saying off on this left-hand side of the screen. You need to turn that on, and you'd use the arrows to select on and off to turn it on and off. If we come across to the right, we have a thermometer button, thermometer here. So if I go plus and minus, that will actually set the room temperature of the caravan. I'm going to turn that down for now, as we don't need that on today, as it's plenty warm enough. I'm going to come across to the right hand side now, and you get a tap symbol. Now this is for turning your hot water, turn on your water heater. So it doesn't matter whether you're on gas or electric, and I'll explain that in a moment. You still need to select on or off for your hot water temperature. So on, obviously it'll warm up on, as you can see at the moment, we're connected to electric, but I'll explain this in a moment, like I said. But if you don't want the hot water on, you have to select off, and it will say off just here, and then you'll come out of there, and that will set the option for the heating and hot water. If you want to run gas for your heating system on board the caravan, you can do that by going to the flame symbol, and again you've got off or on, depending on the power, depending on if you want to use gas or not. We're not going to use the gas for now, so I'm going to leave that turned off. If I come across to the right hand side here, we've got the option to run mains power coming into the caravan. So that's what we're going to run on at the moment. So you've got the option of 1. I do apologise about the screen going dark, or 2 kilowatts. Okay, so what that means is the amount of power that is coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. So for instance, if you're on a site with 2 kilowatts available, you could select 2 kilowatts. If you're on a site with 1 kilowatt available, you could select the 1 kilowatt. So that is the different power sources you can have coming into the caravan. So you've got your heating control on and off, heating and hot water control on or off in the top corner. You've got your room temperature, plus or minus to set that. You've got your water temperature, so you've got on or off. You've then got your option to run gas, which you've got on or off again. And then on the last one here, you've got the symbol to indicate whether you've got any mains power coming into the caravan. So you've got 1 or 2 kilowatts, as I previously stated. But again, if you don't know what power source to use, you can always ask the site office when you take your caravan away. Ask the site office when you arrive on site, and they will advise you of what power source to run your heating and hot water on. So next up, we're going to demonstrate the fridge. So you've got fridge on the button on the front. You can then select your power source. So here we've got mains 240 volt coming into the caravan. So if you're onto mains power, like you would a household fridge, you can run, or you can change the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side. Press the button again, you can go to 12 volt mode. So when you're towing the caravan down the road, essentially you can use the fridge as a cool box. So for instance, if you want to get the beers and wine nice and cold before you arrive on site, you can plug the caravan into the car through your power supply on the front. As long as you've got the right connection on the car, then this will work. You can then come inside, turn the fridge on, and hit the 12 volt mode. You do not need to have the control panel on above the door. That control panel can be turned off. To ignite the fridge on gas, very simply, press the right button, sorry. Go to the gas mode here. It will actually fail to ignite this time around just because the gas bottle's turned off. But if it was to ignite, the blue pilot light at the bottom, or the blue light at the bottom, is your pilot light. If that flashes and you get a 9 and a spanner symbol on the control panel, then it means it has failed to ignite. If it does fail to ignite and you know the gas bottle's full, I'd advise that you turn the fridge off, go to the hob, get the gas through on the hob, and once it is fully bled through on the hob, you can then come back to the fridge and reignite the fridge. Turn the fridge off, press and hold the power button. Again, on gas, you can control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. Microwave, hob and grill. Microwave will only work on 240 volt, the same as the 240 electric ring at the back of the cooker. The rest of the cooker will work off your gas supply, and the igniter runs off your 12 volt battery. So if you're on site and you haven't got a mains hookup, you can still use your cooker, hob and grill. You just won't be able to use the electric ring and the microwave. Going into the bathroom, very simple to use toilet system. We've already filled it up from the outside, so we've got electric flush on top of the toilet. Have a toilet full indicator light, so that light will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is full. However, they are known to be a bit temperamental, so what we advise you do is to just always open up the top of the toilet and have a look. Open up the grey handle at the front so you can see into the waste cassette. So the waste cassette handle is just there, so you can see into the waste cassette. Just have a check through there, just to make sure it hasn't filled up without you realising. You will need to make sure that is shut when you remove the cassette from underneath the van, so the black flap is in the centre there. And the toilet seat does turn for your convenience. However, again, if that toilet seat is turned and you go to remove the cassette, it will not allow you to remove the cassette due to the fact it has 2 lockout tabs on it. So that is the Swift Conqueror 480. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.